They are the young superstars of Supercross. Trey Canard wins the heat, wins the main in his first appearance on a Supercross race. Checkered flag falls, and Jason Lawrence is gonna win his first main event. Here they come. Oh! Down goes Branden. Villopoto wins a stunning race. They have given us one thrill after another as they competed for 2 prestigious championships. And Trey Canard and all that hard work pays off. He pulls off the biggest upset of 2008. He wins the Supercross Lites East Coast Championship. The 2008 Supercross Lites West Coast title goes to the 338 of Jason Lawrence. Now they come together for the only time this season. It's East meets West in the Supercross Lites finale from Las Vegas. Supercross and FIM World Championship. Sam Boyd Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada plays host to the Dave Coombs Sr. Memorial East-West Shootout. The best Supercross Lites riders in the world have all gathered here in Nevada to battle it out. Jason Lawrence, the 2008 Supercross Lites West Coast champ. Trey Canard, this year's East Coast titleist, is here as well. Ryan Dungey, last year's Las Vegas Shootout winner, is back to try for it again. Ryan Villopoto, last year's Supercross Lites West Coast champ. Austin Stroupe, the winner of the Houston round this year. And Jake Weimer, the Phoenix race winner, is also here as well. Hi everybody, I'm Ralph Shaheen alongside my colleague and former Supercross champion Jeff Emick, and this is the highlight really of the season for the Lites class racers. The best in the business gathered at one time to battle it out, and Jeff, adding to the intrigue, a very unique racetrack.
Well, it's going to be a very tough racetrack for the Lites riders tonight in the shootout. The reason is we have 75-foot triples, about 10 feet longer than normal, really tough rhythm sections, and of course that freeway coming down Thunder Alley back into the stadium. It's going to be awesome.
And a ski jump. It should really be a great night of racing with the Lites and some of the best competitors we've ever seen in this class gathered at one time. For more on what makes this race so unique, here's our Aaron Bates.
It only happens once a year where the East Coast Lites riders get to battle head-to-head with the West Coast Light contenders for cash, pride, and mainly bragging rights. There's a certain prestige and importance about this race, where it's the only time of the year that the East Coast Lites champion and the West Coast Lites champion get to put the finishing touches on an already successful season. But for the rest of the riders, it means one more opportunity to show all their hard work and dedication can pay off. We caught up with a couple of the Lites riders earlier this afternoon to find out what their take is on how important this race truly is.
We're here, it's the last Supercross, and I already got the championship, so I mean, of course, this will be the best thing to end it, to wrap it up with winning the East-West Shootout.
I'm looking forward to it. You know, it's going to be good with both the coast, and it should be a fun race.
You know, there's no points involved, so it's more of a fun, but definitely, like you said, bragging rights. I think, but you know, to win it is, I think it would be good for the mind and good to carry over in the outdoors.
Well, I think the West would always want to prove that, you know, whatever coast you're riding, you know, you want that coast to win, just to show that we're the fastest side. So, you know, if I don't win, I want another West Coast guy to win, but I'll be giving it my all to do my best.
The Supercross Lites East-West Shootout, getting set to drop the gate and get the night underway. Stay with us here on the home of the Supercross Lites Speed.
We'll be right back with Supercross Lites on Speed.
Racing here in Las Vegas. It was up into the high 80s today, beating down on the track and everybody enjoying the sunshine, but now it's time to go racing. We've got a beautiful night for it. Here's the 4-1-1, 2 heats, 1 for the West, 1 for the East Coast competitors. We'll take the top 9 from each of those straight to the main. 1 LCQ, 5 of 4 riders for the 22-rider, 15-lap, Dave Coombs Sr. East-West Shootout. And to make it more interesting, Jeff, our MX versus ATV Untamed track map shows we've got a wild one.
It is going to be a very tough track, Ralph. 75-foot triples here. A rhythm section that is going to humble every one of these Lites riders. But we have this freeway coming down here with a ski jump into the turn, wide open on a 250F. But what we don't see is what is outside of this stadium. The starting line set up here, the first turn area is going to be very tricky. It's a long start, so the rider's going to have a lot of momentum going in, and it's going to push a little wide here. And I think that it's going to be very important to get right up front, stay out of trouble in that first turn.
And of course, you got this dirt track section back here known as Monster Alley, which should be awfully wild tonight. Well, let's begin our coverage by showing you the highlights from the West Coast heat race. Trying to squeeze it over the inside. It looks like the 45 bike of Canary getting the early hole shot and the early lead.
Boy, has Canary been a good starter this year. He has really put it together off the gate. 28, Ryan Dungey is behind him.
He's in second place. Lawrence sits in fourth.
Austin Stroupe to the inside. Oh, he slides out.
And for some of these riders, Jeff, as we watch, here comes Dungey on the outside and just runs it right around the top of the bowl. Jeff, for Suzuki, one rider down hard in the whoops. Two down now.
And our champion, Jason Lawrence, he got kind of squirrely. I think he might have got into one of these guys. That looks like
Dan Reardon was in there in the 122 and then the 58 of Kyle Cunningham.
Reardon and Cunningham, not the way you want to start out the final race.
Jeff, I was going to say, for some of these riders, this is like their second shot at a championship because this race carries a tremendous amount of prestige with it.
Well, some of the riders, they get to talking that, hey, you know, I want to focus on the motocross championship. We're winding this thing down. I'm the gate just dropped. These guys are going to be out of control. They want to win this thing.
Now, Hahn had some issues at the start of this. Will Hahn on the 99. As we take a look at the battle for second. That's Jason Lawrence with the red #1 plate since he's the newly crowned champion, and he's chasing Austin Stroupe on the Kawasaki.
I tell you, as you come down Monster Alley here, 250F, you are wide open as fast as a bike will go. Interesting thing about being in second place, we've heard the riders say that there's a lot of roost coming down through that. Because of that little zigzag coming into the stadium, it kind of gets a little one line. There's no way to move to the left or right and get out of that roost. So when that roost hits you, it hurts. That's some incentive to get past the guy here on the rest of the track.
Let's show you how Stroupe got around Dungey.
Take a look at this replay. This is Dungey here trying to stretch it out. You see him, he cased that. Stroupe just triples right by him. Dungey was on a different sequence that time. I think he was trying to do a little bit tougher sequence, but he couldn't quite stretch it out. And that is what has been the very interesting thing about this track here in Las Vegas is that it seems big. The triples are longer than normal. The finish line jump is longer than normal. And this rhythm section that they're going through right now, it just seems to have an odd spacing, and it's tough to even make a triple throughout that whole sequence of jumps.
You see Stroupe, Dan Reardon is one spot out of the transfer. Keeney has it right now. Checkered flag getting set to wave for Austin Stroupe.
And what's interesting is riders like this, he was an amateur this time last year. Now all of a sudden, he's a superstar. That quick.
And it comes with a checker flag for winning the West Coast Heat. Austin Stroupe takes a heat win and goes on to the main. Let's take a look at the results now from the West Coast Heat. Austin Stroupe all the way down to Justin Keeney going straight to the main. Dan Reardon will lead the pack out of this one to the LCQ. Well, let's go to the victory podium where Aaron is caught up to Austin Stroupe.
Well, guys, as a rookie, there are enough distractions as it is, but this rookie managed to take home one win so far this season. Austin, you and your trainer have decided to keep all of your focus on Supercross. How much is that going to help you out battling against the East Coast riders?
Well, you know, I've had a lot to make up, so, you know, I thought it'd be good if I kept at it, and hopefully I can prove a little bit more tonight that I'm getting better, and I can show that he's getting me fit, and it's been good so far.
Good luck to you in the main event.
Do you live for racing on two wheels? Well, check out speedtv.com for the latest motor racing news and results. plus the most in-depth commentary online. So race over to speedtv.com today, your online motorsports authority. The West Coast heat is in the books. The East Coast season was unbelievable. Trey Canard, Ryan Villopoto battled all the way to the finale. They're up next in the heat from Vegas. Stay with us on Speed. All in Baja is in the books. And Austin Stroupe came firing out early. The young rider of the number 51 Kawasaki got out in front of Dungey and Lawrence, the two that battled for the championship, and he showed that he's ready to go for the East-West Shootout here tonight. Welcome back to Sam Boyd Stadium. Big crowd on hand here tonight, enjoying an awesome night for racing here in Las Vegas. Coming up next, don't miss the all-new 2008 Kawasaki Teryx test drive. This test drive promises to take you to a whole new world of extreme adventure. It's the most down and dirty ride yet. The Kawasaki Teryx test drive is coming up next, only on Speed. Well, we've seen the action from the West. Let's go to the highlights now of the East Coast region heat race. And Nico Izzi on the yellow 311 goes outside, but it's Villopoto on the inside taking the early lead.
We talked about the spacing of the jumps, how everything seems to be bigger. Also, there just is no traction out there, only in the dark spots. Wherever the dirt looks really light, that means it's dry and slippery.
There's Trey Canard, 7.
Not moving past Morais or Sipes just in front, Gracyk in 4th. He's been stuck behind this pack. If he wants to get up here into the top 3 even, really gonna have to pour it on.
He is in a transfer position as the top 9. We'll move on to the main event. Trying to get inside. He's just not able to get any ground. There's one position. That'll put him in 6th.
That was Sipes. In the off-camera, he made a big mistake. It's so slippery trying to double off that. Canard stayed to the inside. It's a different rhythm. You kind of do a roll and you go from that tabletop over to single. There's Canard doing another triple. Here's the momentum.
Boy, he's really stretching it out. That'll give him 5th.
That's a line. He's doing a triple out on that, and that gained him like easily 4 bike lengths. That's going to help his lap time also. Villopoto with the best lap time of this race at a 109.5. Fastest of Heat 1. The West Coast guys was a 109.8, so right now Villopoto setting the fastest lap of the night out front. Canard, it's going to be tough to set that fast lap time with all these other racers in here when he's trying to take some alternate lines and switch it up.
About halfway through this heat. Here he comes. That's for 4th as he comes around Izzi. Can he get it done?
Izzi to the inside, Canard to the outside. Oh,
that'll do it. Izzi bobbles, and the champ moves past.
Trey Canard finding a way to just apply the pressure to the outside of the tank. Lean the bike in, put his weight there, grab some traction, nail the double.
Oh, there you go. He gets Gracyk. That's got him to 3rd. Next up, Nico Izzi.
So Trey Canard starting to feel the flow, feeling confident now. Sometimes that number 1 plate gets awfully hard. He's trying to lighten it up here by loosening up, rolling the dice in Las Vegas.
He is really working hard.
But he's a youngster. He's going to have to wait a while before he can actually get in there.
And guess what? He just lost his spot. As Gracyk comes back around.
So these riders have to... Whoa, tough line for Trey Canard.
Last lap, white flag is out. That's Izzi, Gracyk, and Canard. 2nd, 3rd, and 4th on the final lap.
Through the dirt track turn.
Well, it looked like he had a good line there, Jeff.
The motocrossers, though, they're used to getting traction and firing.
Here he comes. Here he comes. Flying over the ski jump, and he sails 35 yards out and takes the position away from Gracyk. Trey Canard sailing through the air here in Vegas.
Half a lap there, a little less than half a lap to go. I think he can still get 2nd.
And Canard will move to 2nd as Villopoto takes the win. Here comes Canard. Izzi had a problem. Izzi and Gracyk both get by. Here they come to the final corner. Gracyk to the inside. Canard passes on the outside. Who's going to get to the line first? Canard takes second place over Gerke. Here's the results from the East Coast Heat. Villopoto with a very impressive win. Canard did an outstanding job of battling through to get into the main. Kyle Chisholm takes the final transfer spot away from Jimmy Albertson. And we go right down to Aaron on the victory podium.
Well, guys, after the upset that took place between him and Trey Canard for the championship, and Ryan Villopoto not even making it out of the first corner last year, Ryan, with this win here this evening, mean sweet redemption for you?
Yeah, it's definitely going to be hopefully a good night. And like you said, I need to try to make it through the first turn. And we've had some, problems here in the past, and I'd like to at least get a win.
Ryan Villopoto making that heat race look way too easy.
Oh boy, did he ever. Now can he do the same thing in the main event? Boy, it's been a long day here in Vegas and a lot of fun. The pit party, one of the biggest we've seen all year. And it was just rocking here in Vegas. Lots of stuff to do, thousands of fans on hand, and a great time had by all. Now it's race time.
Richmond was filled with
place to wrap up the Supercross season. Big time here in Vegas. It's been a big day as well at Sam Boyd Stadium today for the winner of the Dude for a Day Supercross style contest. Arlene Fawcett and her son Peter are at the Supercross finale as a guest of Speed and Kawasaki Motorsports. Earlier, she was presented with this brand new Kawasaki KX450 motorcycle. She and her son have also been hanging out with the Kawasaki factory team, and they got a tour of the Speed TV compound. Congratulations to Arlene Fawcett, the dude, or I guess dudette for a day, of 08, Supercross style, presented by Kawasaki. Let the good times roll. Crowd on hand, having fun, enjoying it. They've watched the heat races. Now it's last chance qualifier time. Here's the highlights of the LCQ. Thundering into the stadium. It's the 114. Justin Brake with the early lead. Matt Bonnie behind him.
Jake Weimer, our winner from the Phoenix round in the LCQ here, running second. A lot of the top Lites Supercross stars. Tommy Hahn, Jesseman, Brake, Reardon,
Kyle Cunningham.
Oh yeah.
A lot of good names in this one. Well, but again.
Brake,
hang on.
What a save, and he retains the lead. There's actually another lane added into this track, so there's more actual racing surface here this year in Las Vegas than what we've ever had before. The very first race that we had here only had 4 lanes. Now we're looking at 6.
And we're looking at the battle for the lead.
Weimer's down.
Jake Weimer on the 30.
Got to get back up to be in the main.
There goes 3, 4, 5. He's in 6th right now.
He stalled the engine.
Done.
But at the back of this group, this is the final 3 qualifying positions. These riders need to keep it nice and clean, stay in line. They all know what position they're in right now. If you really risk it here in the last couple of turns, little mistake. By Bonnie, that tightens everybody up. That's his teammate behind him, Cunningham. So you know they're not going to get into each other. Reardon really doesn't need to get past Cunningham either for the qualifying position. Bonnie's got his feet off. That's one of the advantages of being a tall rider like Bonnie. You just put your feet down and walk the bike right on out of the whoops.
Checkered flag. Brake takes the win. Bonnie's going to go on to the main. So is Kyle Cunningham and Dan Reardon. So the field is set for the Dave Coombs Sr. East-West Shootout. The Supercross Lites Series putting on a spectacular show here in Vegas. Coming up soon, we're going to get a shot to see the East and the West finally bar to bar in the gate. Working our way towards the main here in Vegas.
and just
Speed get the absolute latest racing news and results sent right to your phone. Text KX to 773333 on your mobile phone to receive free motorcycle racing text alerts. Speed Green Alerts presented by Kawasaki. There they are in the gate, ready to go. 22 riders for 15 laps, the final main event for the Lites of the year. The shootout, Aaron, here we go.
Well, guys, chaos happens here in Las Vegas, and that's exactly what took place last year with the Pro Circuit Kawasaki team. If you remember, both your East Coast and West Coast Lites champion, Ryan Villopoto and Ben Townley, both had their fair share of problems. Ryan Villopoto didn't even make it out of the first corner after getting stuck in a pileup, and Ben Townley didn't even complete an entire lap after breaking his chain halfway through. I spoke with team manager Mitch Payton earlier this afternoon to find out what their strategy is coming into this evening. He said, to be honest, as long as everybody's safe, if we make it through one solid lap, we're miles ahead of where we were last year, and you just witnessed both Ryan Villopoto and Austin Stroupe win their heat race, so they're already off to a great start.
Yeah, and Mitch is really hoping, isn't he? Here's our up close as we get ready for the main event here tonight. It is that Dave Coombs Sr. East-West Shootout. No big points up for grabs, just a lot of pride, some good prizes, and a lot of bragging rights. 22 riders for 15 laps. And Jeff, Monster Alley has been something we've talked about a lot.
Let's take a look at Monster Alley here. They've distanced up, they put some water down on a couple parts of the track. It was very hard packed through there. This is where the rider's going to be coming down all the way to that ski jump to get the progressive hole shot. It's going to be very important here tonight to make it through Monster Alley first.
The progressive hole shot line is at the top of the ski jump, so they got a long way to go from here. Jeff, what would you say, about almost a quarter of a mile?
Yeah, it's right here on top of this jump. They're going to be coming through there wide open on the 250Fs.
Launching themselves into the Vegas nighttime sky. You ready?
I am ready, and I'm telling you, these riders, they may say it's all about the bragging rights here tonight in Las Vegas.
Big pile up in the first corner. Who's going to get the hole shot? Ryan Villopoto sails off into the sky, and he's got Dungey right on his tail.
And that's Reardon in second or third.
Villopoto from the east, Dungey coming out of the west.
We'll see how they sort themselves out. Where is our champions? Where is Jason Lawrence?
There's Canard right there.
Canard. Canard getting the better start of the two champions. He's running up in fourth place.
And there's Lawrence. Jason Lawrence is back behind him inside the top 10. But Villopoto shot out of a cannon.
That's Canard. He just worked his way past his teammate Reardon up to third place. Canard, the youngster, so much enthusiasm, just a very strong work ethic. Is not afraid to lay it on the line, has not been intimidated by any of the veterans.
He did all year, and Ryan Villopoto can tell you all about it.
that was a tough finish to the season, and Trey Canard, he was awesome. There's another rider that had a very tough season, but some outstanding rides. Ryan Dungey wants to be one of those riders to win the East-West Shootout 2 years in a row.
Dungey won the last round of the West Championship in Seattle just a week ago, but it was a little too late. The championship went to Jason Lawrence on the Yamaha.
And Dungey has raced on the opposite coast of Villopoto the past 2 years. So these riders really haven't seen too much of each other in like Supercross competition.
And both factories have put so much on them. Suzuki with Dungey and Kawasaki with Villopoto.
Yeah, well, you got to win a bunch of races. That's what happens. And manufacturers, that's what they want. That's why they're racing. Prove that their bikes are the best.
There you see Lawrence trying to work his way up in there. Jason
that's Canary made a huge mistake coming off of the off-camber. Sorry, Ralph.
No problem. Jason now up to 6 according to time and scoring as he came across the line on that last lap.
You can see Lawrence coming through this rhythm section where There's a triple, another triple out. When I was walking the track earlier, I thought for sure that these riders are really going to be able to triple up through there all the way through, but it has humbled the Lites riders. This track has humbled all of our Lites riders. This is a very tough track with some really long jumps.
You saw Jason Lawrence nodding his head as he went past the mechanics area. Whatever was on the signboard, he must have agreed with it.
I think he's having some fun. No doubt, Jason Lawrence, very colorful rider, not afraid to speak his mind. Backs it up with some amazing rides.
Boy, didn't he this year? I mean, Lawrence was telling everybody he was going to take it away from Dungey, and he did.
And he did, yeah. He really trash-talked Ryan Dungey and just got inside of Dungey's head, used it to his advantage, but he backed it up. He had the finishes.
3 main event wins. And Gracyk behind him.
Oh, Lawrence misses the double off.
Well, here we are.
He misses the next one, too.
And
Gracy's on the left side.
Yeah, it could really cost him. That's Gracyk up the inside on the 41. Gracyk on the KTM, getting just in front of him. But for how long?
Well, Gracyk has been on the gas here tonight. Really riding aggressive. Taking him part of the season here to really get back in the groove.
Quick peek over the shoulder, Lawrence.
Just checking to see where the competition is, to see how much cushion he has with the other riders. Can be a little more creative with his lines. Into the turns very wide here, you can see. Draws a nice line, gonna try to triple out.
Some 35 yards. They marked it off like a football field as they come off that ski jump. And Lawrence just sailed 35 yards off the top of that ski jump.
Lawrence, to me, seems like he's out here riding, having a pretty fun time riding right now. Whipping it over both the triples. Almost doesn't seem like he's too focused on racing towards the front.
No, because look at Canary and Izzi all closing in on him. Nico Izzi on the 341. They're right up on the backside of Lawrence. Well, he's got the #1 plate.
Well, that's the real goal of your season, is to go get that. And I'm telling you, you win that championship, it's party time.
There's Izzi on that Suzuki. And Suzuki's got to be real pleased with their young up-and-comers right now between Dungey and Nico Izzi. They seem to be pretty solid.
Yeah, no doubt about it. They're putting in a good effort. Canary was one of those riders that we almost thought was kind of down and out, that he was going to take the slide back the other way after he climbed into the pro ranks. But this season, his starts have been awesome. It's really given him that feeling of belonging and running with the lead group. Has had some great rides.
And a third in San Diego will help do that for you.
Oh, the podium. Remember how pumped he was in San Diego to be up there on the podium? Just had this great smile. That was very satisfying for him.
You see Lawrence now behind him. Izzi. And that'll move him back to 8th.
You know, in this race, as we're taking a look at Lawrence here on the 1E, the 1W, I'm sorry, on the blue bike that just went by. Newly crowned champion. Since 1995, only 4 times has a newly crowned AMA Lites champion even won this race here.
Jeff, watch this. Speaking of tough nights,
taking a tough ride here. Both riders getting squirrely. That's Lemoyne laying it down.
52 Matt Lemoyne. And meanwhile, up front, the man who thought he would be crowned East Coast champion as the season began, and who didn't. Ryan Villopoto. Looks like he's on his way to a very solid finish here in the shootout. He's already over 3 seconds in front of Dungey.
Dungey's hanging right in there. Man, I'm telling you, both of these riders, they were the runner-ups this year. And this is definitely the runner-up race. You know, you want to go back out.
There's Dungey. Jeff, this is quite possibly one of the last times we will see Ryan Villopoto on a Supercross Lites bike. He's making his way up to the big bikes.
Well, and he very well should. He is fit. He's confident. He's a smart racer, and he's had some awesome training rides in this light class, if you will, to move up.
Here's third place man, the reigning champ from the East Coast Division. That's why he's got the red #1 with the E next to it. That is Oklahoma's Trey Canard. What a great young man he is. very nice kid.
Well, we expected Trey to have some good rides this year, and then he came out and led every lap but one in the first 3 races, won all of his heat races. It all stemmed from his great starts. I say it all the time, Ralph, because I truly believe it, that when you get those good starts, you run up front, it gives you that feeling of belonging. Right away, Canard felt like he belonged in the lead.
Aaron, Dan Reardon's having a pretty darn good run here tonight. He's sitting in 4th.
He's having a great race for sure, Ralph, but the season hasn't gone quite as planned for him. He's gone through quite a few injuries, including a shoulder injury that he suffered in Phoenix. But the biggest problem that he's been suffering as of late is tendonitis of the finger, and it's of his index finger. So you can only imagine on such a tough and technical track such as this one, it's extremely hard for him to hold on. He has been preparing himself for the outdoor season, so this race for him tonight is sort of icing on the cake.
Just days away, the outdoor season begins, and of course, you'll see that on speed. We're going to take a quick break from here in Vegas. We'll be right back with the conclusion of the shootout after this.
You're pretty. Waiting.
Medium Ryan Villopoto out front here in the East-West shootout, the main event.
Well, we kind of had a feeling this could happen. After this season that he's had, all the momentum that he drew on, started the season and then East with the DNF, and then got some seconds. Then he started winning, crushing defeat in that final round, and this is going to take away a little bit of pain from that final race. I tell you, it's not going to heal the wound.
No, and I asked Ryan that very question, Jeff, earlier today at Ride a Walk Around. I said, is this your championship since the other one slipped away from you? He said, you know, not really. He goes, I'm really thinking more about moving on now to the outdoors and trying to win that championship, which he did last year. But he said, you know what? Certainly if I get out front and I'm here to win, trust me, I certainly want to grab it if I can.
Yeah, well, this is the Ryan Villopoto that we saw last year. He was so dominant. He started out very quiet about his wrist injury. Yeah. And as it moved on, as the series went on, realized that wrist was injured a little more than what we thought, a little more than what he let on.
Here's a look at Dungey and Villopoto on the last laps, Jeff. They're matching each other's pace, and a lot of people in and out of the paddock area will tell you these two guys might be matching lap times in Supercross main events in the next year or two.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. Two great young riders in our sport, and you know what here? I was almost ready to give Villopoto the checkered flag, but number 28 is flying right now.
Sneaking in, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's only 2.5 seconds behind with 6 to go. I mean, he's certainly not falling too far behind. Here's our progressive whole shot replay.
You see these riders, this is outside of the stadium. East-West shootout, the best Lites riders in the world just gobbled up. And who is it that comes down across the ski jump? Progressive hole shot to Ryan Villopoto. Focus, man. That's what you do. He's dialed in right now. When a rider gets the hole shot like him, no mistakes. He's just so dialed in.
And you know, Jeff, it's kind of interesting. You talked about the wrist injury with Ryan. He held a press conference in Anaheim. And look at Dungey closing. He held a press conference in Anaheim that we were all at, and he said, look, I am 100% healthy. I'm ready to go by the time we get to Atlanta. So there was none of us knew anything about him being injured.
Yeah, and that's the rider's way of convincing himself that he's okay. You know, I don't think there was any intent to mislead anything, but as the series got on, he's like, you know, I'm not as healthy as what I used to be.
No, but that didn't come out right away, too. Even when he had the first couple of stumbles that we thought, wow, this is very un-Villopoto-ish, he still didn't say, hey, it's my wrist. Then all of a sudden, after the first one, he did.
Yeah, and we saw it in his riding where he just wasn't as confident, wasn't as smooth. But I tell you right now, 28's reeling him in. Last lap, he was a half a second faster than Dungey was than Villopoto. This race isn't over with 4.5 laps to go.
Let's touch base with Aaron.
Well, guys, an update on 2 of the riders that aren't here racing the main event this evening. The number 273 of Gavin Gracyk. Times continue to get tougher for him. If you remember the difficult season that he's had all season long, well, tonight no different in his LCQ. He caught his foot on a tough block. He twisted his knee. Said it was in a lot of pain, so he made his way over to the Asterix Medic unit to get it evaluated. Obviously, that's in a lot of pain, but Josh Grant, the number 20 as well, he is not riding this evening after a crash this afternoon in practice. He gave gave himself a concussion. He was out for about 45 seconds. He as well took a trip to the Asterix Medic Unit to get checked out. We'll be seeing more of him at the Outdoor Nationals.
Well, thanks, Aaron. And to follow up with that Josh Grant injury, that was in the second practice is what Aaron's talking about. Josh actually went down very first lap of the very first practice. And really tore himself up. His left, his right forearm, remember we seen him, was just bloodied and cut up. So tough guy for Josh Grant, and he definitely was one of the favorites coming into an event like this, so we wish him the best.
Hey, Dungey is on Villopoto. Dungey is on it. We've got a race.
Oh, and Villopoto goes wide.
Here
Dungey's
comes
to the
Dungey.
inside.
He's right there in a laughter in front of him.
Neither one of the riders can triple. That's Will Hahn in the way.
Boy, Dungey is coming furious. Look at this. The yellow bike is Ryan Dungey. The green bike is Ryan Villopoto.
Oh, and Villopoto's all over the place.
He's pushing hard, and Dungey's close right up on him with 3.5 to go.
Time for Villopoto to straighten it out, to get focused. This is why these riders train so hard. Randy Lawrence, Villopoto's trainer, Johnny O'Mara, Ryan Dungey's trainer. Some serious hard work goes into being fit for these final laps.
And both of these riders came up short in their quest for a championship this year, Jeff. What a great way for them to carry a little bit of momentum out of the Supercross season if they can win this shootout.
Well, and both of these riders had heartbreaking defeats in the championship. So this is the one where they're laying it all on the line here.
And Dungey,
he's in the way.
Dungey won his final race, but did not win the championship. Villopoto, on the other hand, got wrapped around the finish line jump, if you remember, when he got together with Canard.
Let's see.
2.5 laps ago.
Dungey went back a little bit here. Now we start to get into some lapped riders. It's a tough track if you get out of the racing line. Ryan Dungey he has been known to let it all hang out, lay it on the line. Watch Villopoto here. He cases that triple. Look at the line that he draws. Just an S going into the triple. Just barely makes it. Now when Dungey sees that, that's fuel for the fire. He knows it's time to strike. He's close.
1.5 laps ago. Both these riders won 3 races in their respective divisions
little
this year.
mistake again by Villopoto. Loses his balance.
Here comes Dungey. Oh, Stroupe stops and just lets it off.
Stroupe's running way back.
Yeah, he's 11. Surprised to see that.
Let's see how crazy Ryan Dungey's going to get. Both these riders laying it all on the line. $5,000 and a brand new Toyota Tundra to the winner.
What could be the beginning of a monster matchup that we'll see for years to come? Ryan Villopoto and Ryan Dungey battling for a huge win.
Dungey's close. Look, he reeled him right in there. Couple lappers in the way. That's Izzi.
And you can really see him fighting for traffic, too. That means if they're lapping Izzi, they're up to 9.
Look at Dungey with the momentum through the whoops.
Good run. Here they come. A lot of traffic in front of them. Who's going to get out of the way? Who's going to get hung up? Hepler right in front of them.
Whoa, good move from Dungey.
Big problem for Villopoto. And right alongside comes Dungey. And he comes inside and takes it.
Dungey's got it.
He's got it. He pushed it wide. Ryan Dungey as the crowd goes crazy here.
Final lap in Las Vegas. Dave Coombs Sr. East-West Shootout. This is exactly what this race was designed for.
This is going to be devastating to Villopoto if he doesn't win this, Jeff. He's had this thing locked up since the beginning. This was not his championship. He said that, but it's just going to be one more defeat of this year if he can't hang on and get back around it.
Listen to the crowd as the two riders come into the stadium. East versus West.
Who's going to get it? Ryan Dungey came up short on the West Coast Championship. But could he win one of the most prestigious races of the year? A quick peek over the shoulder, over the triple. And he then tripled in Villopoto.
Villopoto misses the triple. That's given Dungey a little bit of breathing room. One turn to go, no mistakes.
Two-time winner for Ryan Dungey. He can hang on for one more corner. He won it last year. He's going to go back-to-back in the Dave Coombs East-West Shootout. It goes to Ryan Dungey. And Villopoto finishes a very frustrating second. Wow, what a finish by Ryan Dungey.
You only have to lead the last lap.
Woo! And not even all of it. What a tremendous run by Dungey. getting congratulated by Kyle Chisholm. There's Villopoto. Yes, Ryan Dungey wins the biggest lights race of the year. The only time the East and the West matched up, and it goes to Ryan Dungey. He claims a big checkered flag. What a night in Vegas for Dungey. It's not all over. We've got more to do from here in Vegas. Stay with us. We'll be right back to talk to the big winner, Ryan Dungey.
Every great driver.
Exactly why this huge crowd is packed into Sam Boyd Stadium. Great racing like that always takes place here in Vegas. One of the best stops on the Monster Energy AMA Supercross Tour, and they were not let down tonight in the East-West Shootout as Ryan Dungey pulled off a spectacular win over Ryan Villopoto. Look at that, Jeff. They lapped all the way up to 8th. Trey Canard, the East Coast champ, finished 3rd. West Coast champion Jason Lawrence ended up out of it 22nd.
The leaders were flying, though. What amazing effort.
Well, let's go down and meet the winner. Two-time winner, Aaron, Ryan Dungey.
Well, guys, like a freight train coming through, Ryan Dungey puts it into overdrive, especially on the final lap. Ryan, take us through what was going through your mind when you put the pass on Ryan Villopoto.
It was definitely a great race. You know, Ryan rode an awesome. Dude, I was just pumped. You know, I was patient, and dude, it was just that last lap. That little lapper got in the way, and that's when I made my move. So, dude, I'm just pumped out the win and going into outdoors, but I can't give it up more than my team, Makita, Rockstar Makita Suzuki, Garnet, Answer, Oakley, Target, dude, my mom, dad, Bridgestone, RG3, and God, I mean everybody. I'm pumped, man. Thanks.
2 years in a row, this kid's got all the luck in Vegas.
Boy, he's certainly got it going on when he's here, and you know, Vegas is a popular stop for Ryan Dungey. It's always the season finale for the tour. We love coming here to wrap up the championship. It's all about the road to Vegas, and for this year, it comes to a close for the Lites competitors. Jason Lawrence wins the West Championship, Trey Canard wins the East, and Ryan Dungey wins the East-West Shootout. Well, let's meet the guy that came up just a touch short. He's with Aaron.
Well, Ryan Villopoto, he took the whole shot this evening, but he made a couple of mistakes that cost him dearly. Ryan, how difficult was this track this evening?
It was difficult. I mean, Vegas is normally one of the toughest tracks to ride. It gets hard, slippery, and blue groove, and but I'm surprised it held up. It held up really good tonight, and just can't thank my sponsor enough: Monster Pro Circuit, Kawasaki, and Jeff Fox of Parts Lemon, Toyota Escondido. Thanks, guys.
Hey, Ryan, this is the last time that we're going to see you ride in the Lites class. How badly did you want to go out on top?
Yeah, I did. I definitely would have liked to win tonight, but you know, it just wasn't there. Ryan was riding really good and made some mistakes, and he was able to capitalize on that.
Great job nonetheless tonight.
Thank you.
Well, for our Toyota moving forward schedule, hey, 2008's all done. It's history. It's in the books. That means 09 is what we're talking about now. If you want to know what the season schedule will look like, tune in to supercrossonline.com in the coming weeks. They will announce it there. I know we're all waiting to see it. Aren't you, Aaron?
I am for sure, but I tell you what, this rookie is not intimidated by anything, it seems. Trey, coming into this evening, it seemed as though you were a little bit tighter than normal. Your mechanic said breathe, relax, and have a little bit of fun. Were you having some fun out there tonight?
Man, I was giving it everything I had. Those guys were on it tonight. They put it to me, but a little bummed about that, but I'm glad to be out of here safe and ready to go for outdoors.
As soon as the race was finished, you went over to Ryan Villopoto, some camaraderie taking place. What words were exchanged?
I just told him that I didn't mean to take him out of St. Louis, you know, and I really didn't. And I felt like he was pretty angry with me, but I just want to make things right. Even if they aren't, I still tried. And, you know, I told him I'm not like that, you know, and I don't want to do that. And, you know, I just want to make things right.
You might be the youngest guy out there, but I tell you what, he sure is grown up inside.
Boy, that is for sure, Aaron. You know, coming up next, don't miss the all-new 2008 Kawasaki Teryx test drive. This test drive promises to take you to a whole new world of extreme adventure. It's the most down and dirty ride yet. Kawasaki Teryx test drive is coming up next, only on Speed. Well, Jeff, the light season is done, and I think the great thing about it is to show you how deep the field is in the future.
Well, definitely both of our competitors that were second in the championship came through, put on an amazing ride.
For Aaron Bates and Jeff Emig, I'm Ralph Shaheen. So long from Vegas. Congratulations, Ryan Dungey.